Injured soldiers and landmine victims could eventually avoid having leg amputations after a groundbreaking operation successfully mended the bones of a dog who nearly lost her leg. Vets and scientists at the University of Glasgow used a special putty made of bone flakes and bone growth protein to heal the leg of a dog named Eva. Well, she seriously fractured her right foreleg after she was hit by a car. Let's speak to Professor Matthew Dolby, who's working on the research project which discovered the special protein and chemical which we used to treat Eva's leg. Professor, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. Talk us through Eva's situation. How do you go from having a dog with a leg that you think you're going to amputate to putting this putty in her leg and her recovering?
Well, Eva's recovery has been remarkable, and it's part of a journey we're on funded by Find a Better Way to treat civilian survivors of blast injuries in landmine-affected countries. And Eva presented to us as we're getting ready towards human trials in the next few years with a very badly broken foreleg. She'd been in a car crash. The vets had done their best to repair this, but sadly there'd been an infection in the repair site, and this caused more bone loss until the point where she had a critical size defect that was never going to repair, and so they're looking at amputating her leg. So through discussions with the veterinary surgeons at the Glasgow Small Animal Hospital, we decided to try some of our therapy that we're moving towards human use in Eva. Basically, surgeons, veterinary and orthopedic, plastic surgeons for humans, etc., use bone flakes or bone grafts to fill voids in bone. But because they have been decellularized, they had all the biology taken out of them to stop body rejection, the cells from the body within the bone that's existing can't grow into them and knit them into the bone fully. So what we did is we used a polymer, polyethyl acrylate, to trap a growth factor, and growth factors are very powerful biological signaling molecules, and one we used is called bone morphogenetic protein 2 that tells cells to form bone specifically, to trap this onto the bone graft and give the graft its biology back. And this caused the cells from Eva's bone to migrate into the graft and fully integrate it back into the bone within 6 weeks. And now she's fully repaired and is walking, running around, and a very active young dog.
So this is, why can't you just bolt the bone together the traditional way with the bolts and the screws?
Yeah, well, good point. I mean, with bone heals very well if the ends are put together, but she had a 2 centimetre gap, and you can't bridge a 2 centimetre gap unless you can fill it with new bone. But the choice for bone we had, because the gap was so great, you can't find that viable bone from another part of the dog that can fit that gap and allow the bone to repair fully. So the option we had was to put the biology back into this bone graft that the surgeons traditionally used. And that's what allowed us to bridge this very large 2 centimetre gap that cannot normally heal. So that's what's remarkable about it. We've taken a gap that can't be healed normally and healed it within 6 weeks with this technology by delivering the growth factor at very low, very safe dose. Because the problem with these growth factors, if they float around the body, they can cause, for example, bone formation in the wrong place. So that's what's important. Our polymer allowed the growth factor to stick onto the bone chips in the location we want and stay there and perform the healing.
So how do we now translate this into healing in humans?
Yeah, that's a great question. As part of our Find a Better Way funded project, we're looking to heal much bigger defects. And we had to take a strategy called tissue engineering to do this, where we actually make bone in the lab. And as part of our project, there's 3 technologies. The first technology will go into humans in the next 3 years, and that's where we take a patient's cells within a scaffold and use a technology called nanokicking, where we nanovibrate the cells and tell them to turn into bone using these vibrations. The second technology is 3D printing, so we can print an anatomically correct shape for the bit of bone that's been missing, and this scaffolds the wound. And the third technology is the growth factor technology that we used in Eva that tells the cells to knit in the bone, to knit into the scaffold and form more bone. And we hope to start delivering, we're going to deliver the first part into humans within 3 years, along with the Scottish National Blood Transfusion Service, and that will be the nanovibrated bone. Then the scaffolded bone, the large defects, we hope to start delivering into surgery for humans within the next 6 or 7 years.
Okay, Professor Matthew Dolby, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.